January 22nd, 2009. Well, the contest is over now. I received an honorable mention. The grand prize was shared by a speed metal guitarist and a handbell choir. Oddly enough, as I heard the winners announced over the radio, my first reaction was relief. I realized that I'd been nervous about again being assigned to Yo-Yo, about my dream being, for him, just another hoop to jump through. Not winning the contest released me from the need to prove myself. When you cast your bread upon the waters, you never know exactly what will come floating back to you. The contest opened New Year's Eve, and one of the first loaves to wash up on the beach was a request from Parma Recordings. We're now exploring our first project together. 2 weeks later, David Darling and I recorded an interview for public radio, WITF, about our duet album, The Return of Desire, Improvisations. Later that evening, I got a call from a director of the Monadnock Music Festival, inviting me to play a couple of solo improvisation concerts on their summer series. And from the first day of voting, loaves were piling up on shore in the form of emails and phone calls and personal conversations. I heard from my closest friends and from people I had never met. I heard from people I see all the time and from people I haven't seen in 15 years. I heard from folks in their 80s. I heard from kids still in their single digits. They all loved my piece. They loved watching me play on YouTube. They loved the excitement of the contest, and they loved the power of casting their votes. Sometimes people call me a virtuoso. It's meant as a compliment. But when I hear that word, I know that I've failed. I've made the music sound hard. My goal is not for people to come away from my performances saying, "She's so great, I could never play like that." My goal is for them to fall in love. I want them to walk out singing, to grab the nearest instrument and start noodling around, or to write a poem, or run a mile, or rock their child in their arms. So nothing could have made me happier than receiving emails like these. I sent away for a student violin, hoping to recapture my 6th grade experience. I have a friend who is willing to give me a beginner's lesson so I can refresh myself after 65 years. She liked your outfit and said you looked beautiful in it. She was very impressed by your Chopin piece, and she wondered if she practiced piano every day, could she play like that when she is big? Seeing you play in this way makes me want to be fully who I really am. The magic of this contest was that everybody won. Everybody got to vote. Everybody who put in the effort got to play with Yo-Yo Ma. And anybody could download Yo-Yo's melody and scrawl their own John Hancock on it and put it up on the web for the world to hear. Clicking on the contest website, listening to Dona Nobis Pacem in variation after variation, I felt as if it were 1831 and I were Alexis de Tocqueville, marveling at this phenomenon called democracy in America. There is a dark side to democracy in America. It is all too easy for us to sink to the level of lowest common denominator, to anesthetize our spirit with fast food and gratuitous violence, media hype, self-righteous platitudes. We can feel threatened by those who embody our potential as a people, by those who challenge us to grow. We've been through some very dark years. But watching the 2009 presidential inauguration, watching the hundreds of thousands of people who stood in the cold, ready to meet the challenge to rise to the best in themselves, I felt proud to be one of we, the people. Yo-Yo Ma was there too, playing with a beatific smile on his face, Our power as a people is that here in the United States of America, the great ones are our equals. Their job is to call upon us to express the greatness that we each individually possess. This is the bright face of democracy. And I feel good today, sending my music out to meet that sunlight.
Eve Kodiak, born Deborah Eve Polikoff, received degrees from Harvard University in 1977 and the New England Conservatory of Music in 1982. She became licensed in educational kinesiology, or brain gym, in 2000. Eve's music spans the spectrum from art and entertainment to education and healing. She calls this unique synthesis sound intelligence. Eve's most recent CD is The Return of Desire Improvisations, with Grammy-nominated cellist David Darling. Upcoming performances include improvisation concerts and talks for the Monadnock Music Festival in the summer of 2009. Eve is the author-composer of 2 CD book sets for children that combine music and developmental movement, Rappin' on the Reflexes and Feelin' Free. She is currently collaborating with Paul McDowell, author of When Listening Comes Alive and director of the Listening Center in Toronto, on a new call-and-response CD book set for children and their adults. In July of 2009, she'll be teaching a week-long course at the Central Connecticut State University Summer Music Institute. Eve can be found part of each week at the Lydian Center for Innovative Medicine in Cambridge, Massachusetts, working with people of all ages. Learn more about Eve on her website, evekodiak.com.